Hello friends, welcome to SQL Server tutorial. Now you are at second part of the subseries table constraint. In this video we will learn about the primary key constraint. Here we will pick a column, then we will set it as a primary key column. Now let's learn about primary key, and we will set a column as a primary key column. So in the last video we talked about all the constraints, right? Now we will concentrate on primary key constraint. So to go with the primary key constraint, we will create a sample table. Here if you see, the table is department, and we will be having columns department ID, name, and department head or led by. So these are all the three columns that belongs to this department table. We will create this table, then we will enter some sample data also. So this department table will be useful for learning other constraints also in the next coming subseries. Now we will go ahead and create the department table and insert some sample data for our learning purpose. So here is our SQL Server Management Studio. We will create a new query. So in the new query window, first we are setting the database as CE2. After that we are creating the department table. Then we will be inserting some data to the department table. And here if you see, we already have a table called employee, and we will run this script to create department table as well. Here you can see we have two tables. One is department and another one is employee. So here you can see the data entered in the department. To avoid this read squiggly, you can go to edit, intelligence, and refresh the local cache, so that SQL Server knows that department table is entered into the database, because we just now created, right? So once you refresh the local cache, yeah, it will update the intelligence database, and that error is, it's not error actually. So SQL Server doesn't know that the table was created just now. Alright, just now we created the department table. So primary key constraints are useful to identify a row in a table. So identify a row, we can even state it as identify a row uniquely. That means with the primary key column, we can point to a row and the row will be unique. That means there will not be any other row which is sharing the same primary key. So it can be marked for a column. It can be means the primary key can be marked for a column, a single column, or a combination of column. Suppose if your table contains A, B, C, D, 4 columns, you can mark a column B as primary key, or you can even combine A and C as together contribute to primary key. So you can do it this way as well. Primary key column does not allow duplicate. So it will not allow duplicate, as well as it will make sure there will be at least some data in the column. That means that simply we can say it will not allow null entry for the column. A table can have only one primary key. So a table can have multiple columns, but we can mark only one column with a primary key. The key can be a combination of multiple columns, but we can state that a table can have only one primary key. Now we will create primary keys for employee, the employee table which already exists, and as part of this tutorial we created a department table. First we will create a primary key column for employee as well as department, and it will be useful in our next coming videos. To set primary key, one can use table designer using SQL Server Management Studio, or one can use TSQL as well. Here if you see, once you bring up the table designer, you can pick a specific column, then you can set that as a primary key. So using SQL Server Management Studio, it will be easy. Or you can do that with a TSQL script as well. Here if you see, we use alter table, but during the table creation itself you can set a primary key, but here we use the alter table syntax. Alter table test.department, because we already created the department. Then you can use add constraint name, then you can state primary key for what column, right? The TSQL syntax is alter table name, add a constraint, give name for the constraint, then tell what kind of constraint it is. It's a primary key constraint for what column, department. If you want to specify multiple column as told here, you can place a comma separated list. Now let's go to the demo. So now if you see here under CEtube table node, there's a table called employee. We will expand the columns. Then here is employee ID, right? You can right click here. You can modify this column, or you can bring up the table designer. So this will list all the column. Here is employee ID, right? So right click here on this column, then pick the context menu item, set primary key. Once you pick, you will see a key icon here. So now it is set as a primary key. Don't forget to save the employee table. That's all. We set employee ID as primary key. We will refresh the column list. Here if you see, once you refresh, a key icon is placed before the column name employee ID. Now as already shown in the slide, if you see here, we are writing alter table syntax. Those are all the column list, right? Alter table test.department. Test is our schema name. Add constraint pkdept key. This is the constraint name we are giving. Up to this point, we are telling that we want to alter the table department and we want to add a constraint. But what kind of constraint is specified here in the next line? Primary key, the constraint is, and the constraint is on the column department ID. Alright, we are already in CEtube, so we can simply click execute. This will set the primary key. Once you refresh the table, you can see that. So now you are seeing a key icon here. So now both of our table contains a primary key column. Alright, so if I go to script as create to new query editor window, you can see how you can create primary key when creating the table. So here the syntax is create table, schema, table name, column list, and finally we specify constraint name primary key. So when we are writing the alter statement, we doesn't specify clustered, but it's always good to go with the syntax of what SQL Server Management Studio is giving us. So during the create table, you can construct the TSQL. Later you can include this in our DB creation script that will be invoked by the application build in the sense the setup executable, I mean. Alright, just now we saw how to create two primary key entries for department as well as employee tables. Now if you want to test here, there's a specific department ID. I'm not sure whether it's a identity column. For that we have to go to the design, department ID. Okay, it's a identity column. So if it is not a identity column, and when you are inserting the data and if you skip value, the primary key won't allow doing that. Anyhow, here both our department ID and employee ID are identity column, so it will always insert the data. So just now you saw the demo. Thank you for watching. Bye.